Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? What's going on, Titan Nation? How's everybody doing? It's your man Chris, aka Blue Enforcer. Letting y'all know we are back for TNT tonight. Titans and Truth. And so we are going to get this show on the road and everything. So make sure y'all do me a favor. Definitely make sure y'all follow. And I'm going to be changing this up a little bit. Follow me on Facebook at Chris A. Newell. Follow me on Facebook there. Also on Twitter, on X, as well at TNT Blue Enforcer. And then also follow me on Instagram at Titans_in_truth. Definitely make sure y'all follow me there, as well as you get all of your good Titans content. So definitely make sure y'all follow me on those channels. And I thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel as well. So definitely make sure y'all go ahead and come on in. And we are going to have a very, very good time. And I hope everybody's having a good Thursday so far. And again, definitely make sure and everything. So I'm glad everybody is with me. But definitely make sure y'all hit that like, share, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. So that way y'all follow all of the content that we have. So definitely make sure y'all do that. I'm sorry, I had to put the right one up. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get this show started. Like I said, hopefully everybody is doing okay. And everybody can see me, everybody can hear me. And we're going to get ready to get started. Like I said, make sure y'all go ahead and put your comments on in. I got Reggie B, my guy. I apologize to everybody. I haven't been around. I have been I've been working a lot lately. Again, I work. Some of y'all know that I work 2 jobs, so when I'm working a couple of jobs, it's not as always easy for me to be able to come in and things like that. So please forgive me for that. Definitely forgive me. It is not that I do not want to bring doing this and everything. So I just need y'all to bear with me, and I thank y'all very much for your patience and everything. But we're just gonna have a good time, nevertheless, and we are going to continue on with the show. We're gonna continue on with the show and everything. So training camp is about to wrap up, and there are still a few spots. There's still a few spots remaining that are up for grabs. And so, with all of this going on, everybody's fighting for a spot. Everybody is fighting to try to make this roster or is fighting to make this team. And so, or is trying to fight for a starter spot. So, I mean, right now it's getting down to the nitty gritty. And so, first off, I'm gonna say that we had the game in Atlanta. So I know some of y'all saw my video. I know some of y'all saw my video from when I was in Atlanta. And here's just a couple of. I'm gonna cover up a couple of pictures from Atlanta. Of course, y'all see me right there with my Titan socks on. I definitely enjoyed myself. had some very good seats in Atlanta as well, and also ran into a few Titan fans too. So y'all know we out here. We are definitely out here and in the ATL. So we represented quite well and had a very, very good time. And and it was very much fun. Absolutely. So I had a great time. I I appreciate everybody coming on in and um and everything. So, that was Reggie B saying, he is um, my dude. I'm like, hey, it's good to see you, and everything. And it was a fun night. It was a very fun night. I didn't like what I saw from Cam. I thought he could have put on a little bit better of a performance. Um, could have put on a little bit better of a performance, but you know what? Those okay. With me, and if it ain't one thing, it's always another with me, huh? Y'all let me know if y'all can still hear me and everything. I'm just trying to work through this. Yeah, I know y'all hate it when the mic always messes up on you. Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three. All right. Let me know if y'all can hear me now. Kind of had some if it ain't one thing, it's another, isn't it? It ain't never a dull moment here on TNT. We're gonna see how long this lasts. And if not, I got a plan C. The show must go on. So let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can see me. And we're gonna keep this thing going. We're gonna try to go as long as we possibly can. But training camp is wrapping up. I had a good time in Atlanta. Um, Cam didn't have the best performance going, but he did some good things. he definitely did a few good things, and that I thought was good. Van Jefferson had a bad drop in that game. Definitely. So, Reggie B, hear me loud and clear. Oh, we have a new guest coming in, Miss Sabrina McClurge. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Glad to have you on. And so, and I also, got to thank my blue and white family for, giving me the nice, warm Southern hospitality down in the ATL. Had a great time. Definitely. But there were some things I did like. I did like some stuff by the defense, the Kendall Brooks, pick six. Joey Slide missing a kick. I wasn't impressed by missing an extra point. Wasn't impressed by that. Cedric Gray is definitely improving, making a move. And so those are just a few things that I saw that I noticed. Mercedes-Benz Stadium is a beautiful stadium, by the way. Very beautiful stadium. Definitely. So, TJ said, oh, yeah, you went to ATL. Yes, I did. Yes, sir, I did. I was definitely there. So, it was definitely cool. But now that training camp, just have to tell a little bit about that because I didn't do my post game like I probably should have because I had to recover from my ATL trip. And so, it's going to be, I was a little tired, so I'm okay. But it was a fun time, and now we're back to business, and that is training camp is wrapping up, and some things that have been coming out has really kind of piqued my interest. One thing was that at one point in time, the Titans were actually considering firing Brian Callahan after last season when they decided to hire Mike Borgonzi, and they thought they were going to just clean house, get a new head coach, general manager, and a new quarterback all at the same time. And I mean, I honestly thought that Brian Callahan did not get a fair shake, but I would have understood if they had decided to do that. Because, again, probably the best thing to do is to clean house, is to start over, everybody brand new, man, GM, coach, rookie quarterback. So I would have understood that if it had happened. But I think Chad Brinker said that we wanted to give him an opportunity to grow as a head coach. He felt another year to grow into that, and we're going to need to see that growth. We believe in Brian. We think we're going to get there. That's why he was retained. And I think at the end of the day, I think that might have been the best decision was to retain him because I don't think he actually got a fair shake last season with everything that went on in this organization, especially with, Will Levis not being up to snub and, with things going the way they were going, it was not going to put Brian Callahan in the best situation to succeed. So I'm glad they gave him at least another year. But yeah, he's going to have to put some stuff together or else he will be on the way out. And that much is a fact if he doesn't put it together this year and at least improve from a 3-14 season. You need to show some growth, and you got to show that you can coach a quarterback like Cam Ward up to being who he needs to be. So that's something that needs to happen, in order for Brian Callahan to get another season. Heard about the Big Jeff Cam Ward scuffle, but no big deal on that. I'm not really going to, really harp on that one all too much. But one interesting development that did happen, we already saw last week, Lloyd Cushenberry was activated off of PUP. Now L'Jarius Sneed is activated off of PUP. And he started to practice. Um, he started to practice this week as training camp comes to an end, and he's very confident that he'll be ready to go. He'll be ready to go come week 1 as we get ready to go on the road against the Denver Broncos. And so L'Jarius Sneed, definitely feels like he's going to be ready week 1. We hope he can stay healthy because he was not able to do that last year, only playing 5 games before being out for the remainder of the season. And if we're going to, go far, if we're going to get, even a shot at the playoffs, if we're going to get even a sniff of the playoffs or to do anything, we're going to need a L'Jarius Sneed in the lineup. We're going to need a L'Jarius Sneed in the lineup if we're going to get anywhere fast. So, definitely it's good to have him back on the field and everything, but you got to be able to stay on the field. You got to be able to stay on the field, and you got to stay healthy. So that's going to be the main key for L'Jarius Sneed is he's got to stay healthy if he's going to help this football team. If he cannot stay healthy, then the Titans wasted $76 million. Wasted $76 million. And I really will hope that that is not the case whatsoever, because I thought L'Jarius Sneed at the time was a excellent pickup. We needed a corner badly, and he's one of the best in the league. So I really hope I really hope that he can stay healthy and that he can produce. So that's going to definitely be the key. But with that being said, we have a game, and speaking of being healthy and going into the last stretch before the regular season, we got a football game tomorrow, y'all. We have a game against the Minnesota Vikings at home at Nissan Stadium. We don't know who's going to play in this particular game, but the question is, who's on the bubble? Who is on the bubble? And what's with Big Jeff and Diggs? Not sure. I'm gonna have to find some stuff out. I'm gonna have to definitely do something. Are you gonna talk about the other rookies? Yes, I am. I'm definitely gonna talk about the other rookies right now. B Pain, what's going on? Yeah, we're gonna talk about that's exactly what we're finna get into. So we finna see. We're gonna talk about who's on the bubble, who can make this team, and who is playing themselves off this roster. And that's the main question. And so there's a lot of guys fighting for very few spots. And it ain't many spots left to grab. Because, you get 53. You get 53, but out of that 53, only 46 dressed for game day. So the question is, who's on the bubble? And we're going to take a look at all the positions. Now, we're going to start at quarterback. Obviously, I think at quarterback, it's pretty safe to say for me that I think it's going to be Cam Ward and Brandon Allen. I don't think Trevor Siemian makes this team. I think Trevor Siemian could be on the practice squad 9 times out of 10. So I think we carry 2 quarterbacks at least right now. Now, running back, I think is a very, very interesting position right now. You obviously got Tony Pollard. I think Tajay Spears will be on the team, but we don't know what's going to happen with him because he did get injured, I believe, in the game against Tampa Bay, if I'm not mistaken. He got injured. So we don't know the extent of his injury. We don't know if he's going to start off on PUP or start off on IR and miss at least the first 4 games or not, which means running back 3 is going to be very important. You still got Kyle Mullins. You got Julius Chestnut, Jordan Mims. Right now, it looks like Kyle Mullins has a bit of an edge, but there was a article that I read that there might be, he's got to get a little bit better in pass protection. And if he could get pass protection a little bit better, he could really be an asset to this football team. So, I mean, that's going to be a very interesting battle with Kyle Mullins and Julius Chestnut for running back 3. Because I don't know if they're going to keep 4 running backs. I think they can afford to keep 3, and I think one of them ends up on the practice squad. And I think, honestly, Julius Chestnut could be the odd man out, in my honest opinion. But Kyle's got to show a little bit. So we're definitely going to see. And then there's Jordan Mims as well, which I don't know if he's going to be much of a factor. I think he was more of a camp body, to be perfectly honest. So that's going to be a very interesting battles for that running back 3. Wide receiver. Now, I would say the top 5 spots are pretty locked up. Ridley, Tyler Lockett, Alec Aomanor, Kamire DK, and I would say Prochet. I think Prochet is going to make it too. That's 5. Now you got a bunch of guys fighting for possibly 1 or 2 spots. They may only keep 6. They may keep 7. And right now you got Jaquan Jackson. You got Mason Kinsey, Xavier Restrepo, Van Jefferson. I don't know if Van Jefferson makes this team because that drop he had in Atlanta, Khalil Mullins. My bad about that, CJ. Thank you for that. I thought Khalil. So, like Superman, Kal-El. That's what I thought. Khalil, which is not going to be easy for me to pronounce. But again, Ridley, Lockett, Aomanor, DK, and from what I'm definitely hearing, Prochet is definitely making it. Who's going to be those last couple of spots? Is it a Bryce Oliver? Is it a Xavier Restrepo? Does Van Jefferson survive because he's a veteran? A lot of times you always hear if you got to choose between a veteran and a rookie, you kind of go with the rookie because you can develop them. And for what I'm All right, y'all. We're gonna have to. We definitely going with a backup plan since my computer wants to act messed up again. But we're gonna keep this thing going. But I think L.A.O. Manor could start opposite Calvin Ridley. I really do. I think that I just think that there is, I mean, I think L.A.O. Manor has shown enough that he warrants that opportunity to be a starter. I think he's going to be very, very good over Chicken. What's up? It's been a while. Yeah, it has. It has. And I appreciate everybody for being patient with me and everything. So so I'm just appreciative of all of y'all being patient with me on this. As I try to work out these technical difficulties and stuff like that, but we're gonna definitely make sure we don't have these problems during the season. So I'm definitely gonna be looking at every possibility to make sure that we have everything that we need to make sure that all of this goes smoothly. But yeah, I think that L.A.O. Manor, I think is going to be a starter. I think he's going to definitely be a starter. I think that Kamire DK, I think is going to get some opportunity as a punt returner. Right now, I think Prochet could get a shot at that as well. And definitely everybody, again, make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as well. So I appreciate everybody doing that also. But I think Restrepo could be on his way out unless he just shows something, incredible in this last game. So he's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Obviously, I think Restrepo won't make the team seem like they don't want him to. You know what? That's a good question. I don't know. It's just it is. I can't. I can't tell what they want to do with him. I don't know what they want to do with him. I'm like, I am very, very confused about that. Let's see. Over Chicken says, I loved how during OTAs all they talked about was Restrepo. Then camp comes around, no word. I mean, that is very interesting. They talked a lot about him. They thought that he might could do something. Then when the pads come on, he disappears. You gotta be able to step up, because if you don't, you can be lost in the shuffle. Hugo says, did you ever talk about the Hulkster's death? You mentioned cutting a promo. Well, definitely rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Like I said, we'll get to him in a minute. I think I did on my last show, I did talk about Hulk some on my last show. Yes, I did. And everything. So I did, I talked a little bit about him on the last show that we did. And DO9 says, can't throw it to himself. I mean, right, he can't throw it to himself. But whoever's throwing him the ball, he's got to catch it. And, you got to catch it. You got to show some stuff on special teams. When you're on that back end like that, you got to be able to show You got to be able to show that you could do some things. And unfortunately, Restrepo has not shown that right now. So that's why right now he is on the bubble and might not and may not make this team. He may not survive. And so it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's sad, but it's reality. I'm trying to work through some kinks, but I don't think there's any kinks to work out. So we're just gonna have to work that out another time. But Restrepo might have lost his chances. He had some chances, just wasn't able to produce, and he's out of there. Tight end. You got Chig, you got Gunnar Helm. Question is, how many tight ends are they going to keep? Are they going to keep 4 or are they going to keep 5? I mean, they said that David Barton Robinson and Thomas Odukoya have special teams value over a Josh Wiley. I think Josh Wiley is in a lot of trouble because clearly Chig and Gunnar Helm are your top 2 tight ends. I do believe. And there are some that think Gunnar Helm could take Chig's job by the end of the year. I really wanted Elfton Chisholm. Was upset he went to New England. I watched him at Eastern Washington. He's a baller. Not familiar with him. Not familiar with him. Definitely check it. Definitely if you're looking to stream on StreamYard and you could get a 10% discount, definitely do that. I'm not familiar with Elfton Chisholm or anything like that, but I have to definitely look him up. I have to look him up and see who he is. But I think they only keep 4. I think it'll be Chig, Gunnar Helm, David Martin Robinson, and Thomas Odukoya. I think there. Offensive line, you got your starters. You got Dan Moore. You got Skoronski. You got Cushenberry. You got Zeitler and J.C. Latham. The question is, who do you have behind them? Who do you have behind them? Right now, I would venture to say Corey Levin is going to make it. That's 6. Rupchich is there. That's 7. Maybe by default, Ojukwu and maybe Jalen Duncan. Even though I think Jalen Duncan really sucks, but from what I've been hearing, he's had a very strong camp. Overchick said, "Will Cushenberry be ready for week 1?" I did see he had passed off for week 2. Now that is a good question if he's going to be ready for week 1 or not. I will say that I will say that Corey Levin has definitely stepped up in his place, but right now it looks like all signs point that he'll be ready to go week 1. He'll be ready to start week 1. I was hoping to see a little bit more from Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, but I really haven't heard his name very much. Jackson Slater is another guy that I think will make it. The question is, who does he make it over? Does he make it over a Ojukwu? Does he make it over a Jalen Duncan? I think Jackson Slater will get his shot as well. because I have seen him in at both left and right guard. So I think there's definitely something there when it comes to that. So I could definitely, excuse me on that, and I could definitely see where Jackson Slater makes it and they keep 10 offensive linemen. That's possible too. But I can see a situation where Ojokwu is the odd man out. So right now, that is the offensive side of the ball. What about the defensive side of the ball? And I say we'll start in the trenches. And obviously you're going to have Sebastian Joseph Day, Tavondre Sweat, Big Jeff. You got Arden Key, definitely. You're going to have Femi Oladejo, there. Who's going to be on the other side? With you got Draymond Jones as well. But I think who's going to be the nose tackle behind Tavondre Sweat is a very good question. I think James Lynch did show a few things. So he might make it because he does have some experience. A guy that I think could be in some trouble is Jalen Harrell. I think Jalen Harrell could be in some definite trouble. Jahad Ward, who came over from Minnesota, might have a shot at this team. Pass rusher is an issue because all you got is Arden Key, Femi Oladejo, and Draymond Jones. Who do we have behind that? That's why I think you could take a swing at a Trey Hendrickson if you got a chance. Because with Hendrickson, you got yourself a bona fide pass rusher to go alongside Arden Key and Femi Oladejo. And he would be massive to this team. I've also heard a little rumor that the Titans might put in some type of trade for Micah Parsons from the Cowboys. We'll have to see how that goes. I mean, I don't see that happening, but if it did, oh boy, especially if you don't give up Big Jeff as part of that deal. If Big Jeff is still here and you get a Micah Parsons, the landscape of this defense changes tremendously, without a doubt. And so depth behind the front four, depth behind the front five is going to be something. That's going to be the question. I think Oladejo is going to get snaps, definitely. But he's going to have to show that he can be a consistent pass rusher on that. Another battle that's very, very interesting is inside linebacker. We know Cody Barton's going to start. The question is, who starts with him? A lot of people will say James Williams has the edge, but Cedric Gray is coming, y'all. Cedric Gray has come along tremendously. He had an excellent performance against the Atlanta Falcons, albeit against backups, but he's had an excellent performance. Over Chicken said, I would rather go with Parsons than Hendrickson. Hendrickson being the AFC, Parsons in the NFC. I mean, yeah, that does play a part. But Cedric Gray is making this a very tough decision. And it's really a two-man race for that starting position on the other side. So we're going to have to definitely see where that goes as far as that is concerned. I think James Williams is the starter, but Cedric Gray, I think, is definitely going to push very, very hard towards the end. At corner, you know you got the Jerry Sneed, and you got Jarvis Brownlee. Daryl Baker's going to be there. Roger McCreary's going to be there. So that's 4. The question is, who are going to be your other 2? Who are going to be your other 2 corners at 5 and 6? I really haven't seen much from guys in the back besides Davion Ross has made a couple of plays. You got Marcus Harris and Jamari Harris could be a couple of guys. Clarence Lewis, I've seen him in a few times. It's going to be interesting to see. Gabe Giulilali, I think, is fighting for a spot. So I think those last couple of spots at corner is going to be open as well. I don't know who's going to grab those last 2 spots. Because, again, you got Sneed, you got Brownlee, you got McCreary, you got Daryl Baker. That's at least 4. You need about 6. At safety right now, you got Amani Hooker and Xavier Woods. I think by season's end, Kevin Winston takes that spot. But who's going to be behind him? Kendall Brooks and Mike Brown are fighting for one of those spots. I think you only keep 4 safeties. Because you got Hooker, you got Woods, you got Quandre Diggs, and I think Winston. If you keep a 5th, it's really, I think, between Mike Brown, Kendall Brooks, maybe a Julius Wood. Overchicken says, bring back Trey Avery. Hell no. Hell no. So it's going to be very interesting to see on that. And then special teams, obviously, you got Hecker. You got Morgan Cox. I don't know if Joey Sly is safe either, because he did miss that extra point, and then he was okay the rest of the way. So I don't know. I don't know about Joey Sly. I mean, it looks like Nick Folk's doing fine with the Jets. And, there might be another kicker that could be available that they may come off the waiver wire, but I'm not 100% confident in Joey Sly right now. I think you could have gotten a better kicker. So that's my thoughts on the bubble. And Overchicken, I did see where Stonehouse got cut from and yes, we do have Diggs. I did see where Stonehouse got cut from the Miami Dolphins, but we got Johnny Hecker, who's a veteran, so I think we'll be okay there. But yeah, that is some of the interesting stories that I've seen, at least leading up to this final game. Definitely going to be watching the Minnesota game to see who could crack them last couple of spots. Because there's about a good, I'd say, 5 to 6 spots at the back end up for grabs. It's anybody's game. So you gotta, as they say in that movie, bring it. You have to bring it. Because if you don't, you're going to be left out. And so training camp has indeed wrapping up. And, it's crunch time. I do not envy the coaches in this position. They got to make difficult choices. Who makes this team and who does not? And I do not envy them none whatsoever. But definitely make sure y'all follow me on Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Again, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I definitely want to say thank y'all for tuning into the show. Thank y'all for sticking with me, even with the technical difficulties. I'm going to find a way to make that better because I know y'all are tired of it just like I am. It could be my computer that's the issue. And if I have to, maybe I'm gonna get some other equipment. We're gonna definitely get this thing right and get ourselves ready to rock and roll. So everybody, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning into the show. And y'all have yourselves a very good rest of your night. And as always, tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. Good night, y'all.